Hello good people, I'm Jason with Squad Car 37 and you're watching Micro Tutorial Tuesday, where I put 1 minute and 37 seconds on the clock and share a music tip or a life lesson. For this week's music tip, I'll show you 5 of my favorite stock Logic plugins. But first, check out this high-speed clip of my lackluster leaf blower.
Micro Tutorial Tuesday.
By the way, I'm in the lavatory of an Aerobus A320, cruising at 530 miles per hour to California. Does this mean I've joined the Mile High Vlogger Club?
Okay, I've made it to Los Angeles. I'm actually at the beach not too far from LAX, the airport. And this particular beach is right on the end of the runway, so these planes are flying right over top of me. It's beautiful out. I figured I'd finish my Micro Tutorial Tuesday and show you some of my top 5 stock Logic plugins. Here we go. The first stock Logic plugin that I want to show you is called Sample Delay. Here's a guitar track. So you hear it right in front of you. If I add the sample delay, listen to it now, before and after. Big difference. Basically it uses the Haas effect to trick your ear into thinking that that mono signal is stereo. You might want to look up the Haas effect, it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, the second stock plugin is called Tremolo. Here's an organ part that I'd like to affect. For the most part, it sounds pretty centered, but I'm going to add a tremolo to give it a left and right pan to make it a little more interesting. So go into modulation, tremolo, stereo. I'm going to kick up the depth and turn it on in the track. So I love tremolo because it adds some width, it moves something out of the center and puts it to the sides and gives you a little bit of style. The next stock plugin I'm going to show you is called Bitcrusher. I'll put the Bitcrusher on anything. So we've got an organ part here. By adding the Bitcrusher, which is basically a digital distortion, it gives it just a little bit of an edge. So without and with. And it helps it stand out in the mix too. Bitcrushers are great. You can use them on organ, guitars, vocals, pretty much anything. The next stock plugin I use from Logic is the Compressor. What's nice about the Logic stock plugin is it gives you a couple different compressor options. So this particular compressor is kind of styled after the 1176. What's nice about this one, it adds a little bit of distortion. I like to use it on basses, so without and with. So very subtle differences. The last stock plugin I'm going to show you is the EQ. Anytime I've engaged an EQ, it shows the EQ form up here. One of the first thing I do is use a high pass filter, which means I roll off the bottom end. So this is a percussive element. So there were some lower end frequencies that I'm just rolling off because we don't need it, because the fundamental frequencies are higher in the mix here. So why do I roll off the low end on instruments that you don't need it? Well, it'll create rumble even on vocals and other instruments where you don't need that in the mix, and it adds up into your headroom, cuts into your headroom. So those are 5 stock Logic plugins. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial.